astrology-informed yoga practice, you can maximize positive planetary influences, minimize negative planetary influences, and live as your highest self. Visit discoverastroyoga.com and join the Astro Yoga experience to get ongoing guidance on how to change your yoga practice based on astrology.
Hello and welcome back to your practice. I'm Hannah, your guide today. Aries energy is all about action, drive, self-confidence. And the ruling planet of Aries is Mars, which I guess makes sense that the fire element is involved here. So this beginner-friendly yin practice that we'll be doing together today is an attempt to balance confidence with humility. Go ahead and get yourself as comfy as you can. You might want to grab yourself a bolster or something very similar. If you happen to have some blocks, these could also be helpful today's practice. Get yourself something super stretchy and comfy. See you on your mat. Today's practice will be very much featuring around the third chakra, Manipura, and that is based just above our navel. This is very much connected to our emotions and our self-worth, our beliefs about ourselves. So I'd love us to start lying down. Grab yourself something that you might place underneath the back of the knees, or you could lie down with your knees bent and the feet to the ground, a little bit like a supported bridge, but you're not lifting your hips off the ground. So I'm just going to set up here with the bolster behind the back of my knees, I guess just like Shavasana style. Wriggle around until you get super comfy. And then I'm going to ask you to bring your hands like a triangle around the navel and the belly button area. So make sure that your elbows are comfy, your shoulders feel even. There is a sense of evenness between left, right side, top to tail. And you might be able to have thumb tips and fingertips touching. If that is not comfortable, don't worry too much. Just sort of create this triangular shape that feels comfortable through your palms, wrists, body in general. And if at any point you'd like to just bring the hands away from the body, go ahead and do that at any time. So first few moments, you might notice that it is impossible to keep your fingertips and thumb tips touching as we start to navigate breath into the abdomen, the belly area, and encourage that lift and fall of the belly as you breathe. You might be breathing in and out through the nose or the mouth, but in time, if you can, try to settle the breath into a steady rhythm, maybe if possible through the nose. Perhaps the mind has already began to wander away from the physical touch or the sound or sensation of breath. Just see if you can gently draw thoughts back to the here and now, and actually notice the gentle weight of your hand upon body. Maybe you could feel into the warmth of your hands upon your belly now. See if you can stay with that warm sensation as though it's melting into your body, so that you notice a radiation of heat transferring between your palms and your belly, and vice versa between your belly and your palms. Could you now imagine that there is a little glowing ball of light beneath your palms, radiating outwards, a little like a mini sun inside of you. Linking the color yellow to this ball of light that is right in the very center of your abdomen. You might notice that that ball of light is gently rotating, and you're feeling the warmth from the very center of your body. And the ball of light will stay where it is, but you start to notice that radiating heat, warmth, drawing further and further outwards so that the warmth is not just concentrated in the very center of your body, but you notice it slowly seeping its way through the rib cage and down into the pelvis, the lower back, upper back, simultaneously moving outwards from your center in every direction so that you feel a sense of warmth and tingling, a sense of nourishment from this energy in your center, drawing outwards towards every corner of your physical being. Perhaps you could imagine that this is your power. Cultivating an awareness and a relationship with your own power. And at any time that you want to, you could tap into this internal power in your practice today, maybe offering a sense of calm strength to your being. We're going to bring ourselves into a supine twist here. So you might be gathering the bolster over towards your left side, or a pillow or two or a block to your left side when you feel ready to move. So some of us won't need any props, but in yin, it's a really fabulous tool to grab a couple of items, remembering that we're never trying to go into the deepest shape that our body's ever been in. We're only sort of going about 50% roughly of our natural full potential of any physical posture. 50%. So I'm going to bring soles of feet to the earth, knees to the sky, spread out the arms, maybe a little cactus plant, or spread the arms wide. And then press down through the feet and just hover and shimmy the hips a little bit over towards the right side of your mat. And then you might simply let the knees drop down upon that bolster to the left side. And that could be quite enough. Remember, we're here for a couple of minutes on either side, so you've got time to keep wriggling in and finding another edge in the pose if you'd like. I'll be offering a few more places that you might like to feel your way into in just a moment. You might like to explore a turning of the head in the opposite direction. You might notice that that doesn't feel right for you and bring your head back to center. Constantly check back in and ask yourself, what do I need today? With a non-judgmental response, move the body where it needs to be today. offering another little variation of those legs, I'm going to choose to bring my bolster between my legs, dropping my left knee deeper now to the ground, and actually lifting my right knee higher, exploring a different variation, exploring perhaps a deeper sensation and seeing whether that fits right now in this moment. Settle in once again. When you feel ready, I invite you to slowly return to your spine. No props at this point. You could always move your prop over to the right side in preparation. Let's just take another 3 to 5 breaths before we take on the second side. Lying on your spine, feeling a sense perhaps of release of the body, often referred to as rebound. Stay with the sensations. Stay with your breath. See if you can be at peace with your thoughts as they come and as they go. We'll be doing the same variation on the second side, and try to remember that it is a progress. You don't have to go straight into the deepest variation that you ended the last side on. So I'm just going to simply let the knees drop over to the right side, not overthinking it, spreading the arms, maybe exploring turning the head or not. Maybe you could just ask yourself, in this moment, how do I feel? Allowing for whatever may appear to be there with kindness and respect towards yourself. You could always find another edge in the pose if you want to take another little wiggle in, maneuver any props. I'm choosing to bring bolster between the legs. I'm choosing to have my knees quite high. You can take an exploration in your own body there. More often than not, outwardly, we're always wearing some kind of mask. Is it possible to bring down the mask and be truthful with yourself? How do I feel in this moment? Allowing whatever is beneath the surface to be there. This is now. Take one more breath. And gently bring your way back through to center. Take your time to pause in a shape that feels comfortable for your rebound in this moment. See if you can stay attuned to your physical body. From here, I invite you to come and make your way up slowly to seated. You might like to roll to a side. And you'll want some cushions potentially at hand. We're going to head into a variation of half dragonfly. So I'm going to grab my bolster. I know that that's something that I'm going to enjoy using. You can also grab a block potentially or some more cushions. So go ahead and extend your right leg out to the side and keep your left leg bent. I'm a mirror opposite to you, directly in front. And you don't have to think about going to the widest shape. Remember, it's yin, so feel into your body and take a relaxed approach. You do not have to have a really strong and active straight leg. It can be pretty relaxed. So a couple of things that you might like to try here. We're going to head towards that straightened leg. So we add a little torso twist into this one today. And it could be that having a prop underneath that straight leg, such as a bolster, could just give you that little extra space that's really needed into the hamstrings there. Perhaps you have something else to prop through the forehead. Some people like to bring a block into play. And it might be that over time you'll remove any prop from underneath the head. But this can be maybe a nice way to start. It could be that you'd rather not have anything underneath that leg. Perhaps you've placed something under the hips instead, so your hips are higher. Or we could be actually leaning in towards the bolster in a way so that we're even higher than that first variation. So you'll be taking some time to sort of figure out, where do I feel most supported? How would I like to set myself up today? I was quite enjoying that first variation, so I'm going to bring the bolster back behind the back of the knee there. And for me, having my head dangling feels perfectly okay. It's a little later on in the day, so I'm feeling quite comfortable through my neck to let it relax. And it might feel good to take a breath here in through the nose and out through the mouth. See if you can let yourself drop in. Can you remember the last time that you felt confident? You might be bringing a scenario to mind. When was the last time you felt confidence in your whole being? Because it really is an embodied feeling. Can you remember how your body might have felt in that moment of confidence? Can you imagine perhaps how you stood or sat or presented your physical being in that moment of confidence? Not that we're going to bring that into our physical state right now, but just seeing if we can start to embody that feeling again. This sense of assuredness. Confidence is a wonderful attribute to embody at the right time. But it is something that not all of us can achieve 100% of the time. And that's okay, we're human. If we were 100% confident in absolutely everything that we did, perhaps there would be no room to learn, to grow, to listen. If you have props underneath the forehead or any way that might be really supporting you in a way that you feel that actually I could get in a little further without, feel free to remove them. Take another breath in, and maybe I'll open the mouth, let it go. Settle in for a few more breaths. And we'll slowly begin to unravel and roll our way up to sit. Let's remove any props. We're going to just lean back with the hands, feet out in front, and a little windscreen wipe of those legs. Finding a release in the hips, the knees, the spine. And then we'll go ahead and set up for the second side. So if I gave you different cues in every single body part, I'd be here for a long time. But something I didn't mention on that first side was you can always support the bent knee. Could be something that is required as well. You do not have to set yourself up identically on this second side. You might need more or less support. Remember that initially we're just seeing if we can sink into our first edge in the pose, and there's always room to wriggle and maneuver a little bit further down the line. But see if you can start to cultivate a sense of ease and stillness together. The Aries energy can sometimes be also a little arrogant, a little too self-assured, and, as we all might have heard before, a little fiery. So we always want to add a little sprinkling of feeling humble. And here we're working the energy through the meridian lines and chakra energy channels in the body so that we can create a sense of balance and ease in our being. Is there any more room to settle in just a little bit further without trying too hard or trying at all? Just letting gravity take you there. And just one more breath. And we'll start to gently unravel our body again, removing any props out of the way. And again, a little windscreen wipe of those legs from side to side. We're going to head on to our knees next, and we'll just take 1 minute either side here. We're going to take a supported child's pose. So supported could be something under the knees, or it could be something under the buttocks. So taking the knees quite wide, your hips don't have to be dropped really far back. We're going to add a little side flexion into our child's pose. So knees could be quite wide, big toes touching, and then start to walk the hands over towards the left side. And perhaps you'd like to support your forehead with the hands there. So I've tried to align my torso sort of along the inside of that left leg. You might be on top of that left leg if you want to, you can be. I've sort of let my belly still have lots of room in that space between the thighs there. Settle into the rhythm of your breath. And just one more breath on this side. And then come through to center, and you might like just a little lift up, a rounding of the spine. And then settling the hips back towards the heels, setting up for the side sway on the second side. So forehead gently propped by the back of your hands, finding extension and expansion through the left side of your body, and a little compression through the right side of the body. Perhaps you're on top of your right thigh with your whole torso, or snuggled to the inside of your right leg. Taking one more breath. And then slowly returning back through to center again, onto your palms, perhaps a deep rounding of the back. It is time for us to settle into Shavasana. So you might be choosing to have support underneath the back of your head. Perhaps you're choosing support beneath the back of your knees. You might even be finding a blanket to cover you as you settle back. One more time, I invite you to bring hands to the belly. And if that's not somewhere you'd like to end your practice, then really welcome to just bring the arms beside you, traditional Shavasana style. But just bringing a sense of awareness once again to this center point of the body, and the awareness of touch, awareness of warmth, radiating from your center, this inner confidence that we can always head towards when we put our mind to it. A sense of inner knowing. bringing an awareness of where you are. Perhaps a longer and deeper breath now. Starting to add a little wiggle, movement, maybe a stretch. Rolling to your side. And when you're ready, slowly gathering your way up to sit tall. Take a moment, pause before you re-enter your day. Feeling long, tall, a sense of openness to your environment of now. A sense of knowing that you belong where you are right now. Thank you for taking this journey of going inwards, introspectiveness, and finding a little self-belief along the journey. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I bow to you.
If you enjoyed today's class, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're interested in learning how you can align your yoga practice with the current planetary positions and alignments, visit discoverastroyoga.com and join the Astro Yoga experience.